Motoring onwards and upwards. That's the verdict from the RAC on the price of running a car. The data shows that the cost of motoring has soared by 14% over the past year, to an average of over £128 a week. Increases in car insurance premiums are one prime cause of this cost rise, driven up by personal injury claims.
When people are involved in an accident, if they do sustain an injury to themselves, they can then end up getting paid out compensation. And over the past decade, the amounts being paid out have been on the rise. But the other side of that same issue is that claims management companies are increasingly prevalent in the industry these days, and they're encouraging people to pursue personal injury claims when perhaps in the past they wouldn't have bothered. So we're seeing many more claims for whiplash being paid out, and whiplash is one of those things that actually is very hard to prove, but insurance companies end up paying out for it all the same. The third element is that insurance companies aren't really helping this problem, because what we found out is over the last couple of years they've started to be selling on the details of people who have been involved in accidents to these claims management companies.
The government has started to tackle some of the causes of high car insurance premiums by banning personal injury referral fees and introducing fines for drivers who don't either insure their vehicle or declare it off the road. But car insurance isn't the only factor identified by the RAC as driving up the cost of motoring. Fuel makes up the largest single increase in price since 2010, up by over 12% in just 1 year. This rise has been driven in part by high and fluctuating wholesale costs. However, government tax also plays a role. Fuel duty makes up around 70% of the price you pay at the pump, and it's set to increase in January. However, the Chancellor is currently under pressure from MPs to scrap this rise, after a Commons debate on the issue that was forced through by the Fair Fuel UK group. Peter Carroll is from the campaign.
The whole economy is just collapsing under the dead weight of fuel duty and fuel prices. So it should cut fuel duty to give the one thing that the Chancellor himself needs to pay off his deficit. What he needs is growth. A cut in fuel duty will create jobs, stimulate growth and give the whole economy the boost it needs.
Will it though? I mean, we've had Vince Cable coming out and saying that the country just can't afford it. I mean, is this the time for tax cuts?
Well, I'll go back to the debate that the Fair Fuel UK campaign achieved last week in Parliament. The overriding message was that you can afford this, because by going on with this rise next January of 3p a litre, which is an enormous increase, you're going to really drive the economy backwards. So I respect Vince Cable. I know he's a very senior politician, very expert in economics, but I think on this issue, he's not grasping the central point.
But for most drivers, the central point is bringing down their monthly motoring bill. And in a climate of high inflation and rising taxes, this could be one destination that's not reached for a good time yet.